going on, dudes and dudettes? So yes, the Lakers had their final summer league game. I guess they didn't win enough to be able to continue playing in that mini playoff run, but they were able to pretty handily defeat the Bulls by like 20 points or more, and that was also without their two-star rookies, Dalton Connect and Brodie James. So yeah, it's a nice showing from a lot of those guys like Blake Hinson and Oliveri. One of those guys, they went off from three. They hit like 5+ each, so that was good to see. Hopefully some of these guys will be able to help out the Lakers, whether it's this season coming up or the near future, so looking forward to that. And then ex-USC player Evan Mobley with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Looks like he did agree to a 5-year, $224 million deal. Yeah, around there. And I guess he can get up to like $269 million on that new maximum rookie extension. So yeah, it's pretty good money. Even for a guy maybe at the number 3 overall pick, hasn't lived up to the hype, but his team has been in the playoffs compared to some of those guys that were picked ahead of him. So I guess you got to pay him, and it could end up being a nice deal in the end if he doesn't end up making like all like top 15 players when it comes to the first, second, and third NBA teams. Because if he does, then that number will reach more of near that 269, and if he wins like defensive MVP as well, it could go up too. Because I know he was like top 3. Was he like top 3 or pretty close to being top 3 in defensive MVP and stuff when it comes to this last season? So yeah, if he gets any one of those, then he could probably get up to that bigger number. So that's pretty good for him, the ex-USC Trojan. And then Team USA basketball did play against South Sudan, and they had a pretty epic game going back and forth and even being down by like nearly 20 points in this game, but they came back, went on like a 20-something run themselves, and even LeBron stepped up as well in that game. He had 25 points, 7 assists, and 6 rebounds, along with that game-winning layup against Sudan, which is pretty cool, or South Sudan, excuse me. So yeah, congrats to them for not being too embarrassed by a couple guys who are on some NBA rosters in the past couple years, or even right now, or a couple of like high school guys, or even like Kaman Maluwach was one of the players for South Sudan who's going to be playing at Duke this season. So watching him and Cooper Flag do pretty well against Team USA of all teams, looks like it's a pretty bright future for the Duke Blue Devils this season coming up. So definitely looking forward to that. And the ex-Duke player DJ Stewart, who I said was playing for the Chicago Bulls right before the summer league started, it didn't happen against the Lakers that game. It was actually, I think, the day before, where he went off really well, and I think it helped him out because he had 37 points, also threw in 7 assists, and made 8 threes, which is pretty cool. But pretty much after they ended up losing to the Lakers, he was able to sign a 2-way contract with the Chicago Bulls when he was just a regular invite to the Summer League team and wasn't guaranteed a roster spot. But now the 2-way at least guarantees half of his season could be now played with the Chicago Bulls, which is pretty cool. And he could also upgrade to another regular contract for another year or two. So hopefully that does end up happening for him, and it's his, hometown team in Chicago, so that's pretty cool for him overall. And then the LA Chargers, yeah, someone put up, like, what would you predict their season to go and record-wise, and so I was looking through it, seeing what I can do, and I think they'd have a pretty nice record, because a lot of these teams sucked last year, even though they did somewhat improve this year. But let me go through some of my rankings for this record, wins and losses for the LA Chargers. So I believe in the first week they play against the Vegas Raiders. I'm saying that's a W for the Chargers. Week 2 against Carolina, saying that's a W. Pittsburgh in week 3, I'm saying that's a 50-50 game. Week 4, Kansas City is a 50-50 game as well. Week 5 is their bye week, a really early one again. Then Denver, I think that's a win. Arizona, a win. The Saints, a win. The Cleveland Browns is a 50-50 game. The Tennessee Titans is a win. Bengals 50-50. Baltimore 50-50. Atlanta is a win. Kansas City again is a 50-50 game. The Tampa Bay Bucks is a win. Denver a win. New England Patriots a win. And the Las Vegas Raiders once again is a victory in my opinion. I know a lot of people will probably say this is a wrong win-loss record, but and if you just count up the wins, that's already at 11 wins. And if you count my 50-50 games, that could be 6 losses. So 11-6 is pretty good for Jim Harbaugh's first year with the LA Chargers. But like I said, those other 6 games are 50-50. So they could be a couple more wins ahead and a couple less losses and look pretty good and maybe close to one of those top seeds in the AFC playoffs as well. So yeah, I have some high hopes for them just because when you're picking that early in the draft, you usually get a nice, run of some teams that are bad. That's why they got like the NFC South and all that with Carolina, the Saints and Tampa Bay, Atlanta, all those. So yeah, looking forward to seeing what they could do, but they get, like Cincinnati, Baltimore, Cleveland, a couple of those tough teams, but don't have to play Houston or Miami this year, or even Buffalo too, so that's a nice start when it comes to the AFC. But like I said, those 50-50 games for Kansas City, that'd be pretty interesting too, so hoping for the best when it comes to my LA Chargers. Yes, thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe, comment down below, let me know what y'all think. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.